So this next guy is a dear friend, and we have traveled across the world together. Did we also fight the lion barehanded? Or was that us, or maybe not? Maybe not. Maybe not. But we did travel across the world together and stuff. I grew up in an Indian family in India, speaking a language called Bengali, which is one of the languages in India. He grew up in an Indian family speaking French. I'll let you ask that question at the end of his presentation as to how that happened. He's the director of our Doctorate of Business Administration program. He's got a textbook in international business that's used by numerous schools. He's a heck of a guy. He's very, very big on ethics. One of the fun questions we go back and forth is, what would you be willing to do for $1 million? Think about that. So we kind of talk about that. And also we're trying very hard over the next year not to stink at golf, and we're doing that together. My dear friend, Parboteeah.
All right, I made it. I told myself if I made it to TED Talks, I've done it. This is the next best alternative. So great way to, and this week has just been incredible. You know, I got my 15-year pin a few days ago. Yesterday I was recognized for the research nomination, so it's just a fantastic week. And in terms of thinking about what to talk for this, I thought, okay, what are my interests? I like international management. Should I talk about international management issues? We all know that it's important, right? I mean, who wants to hear that we need to accept cultural differences, we need to adapt? So I said that doesn't make much sense. The next thing is business ethics. That's my huge other academic love, if you will. But again, do I need to tell you that you should be honest at work? Do we need to say that companies should be ethical? I don't think so. Let's get to, that's my name really big. Let's get a little bit to what I want to talk about today. I think, like most of you, reading is something that, you know, provides some kind of food for the human soul, you know. And here I have a few of the list of books that I've read that to some degree have helped me understand my kind of context in the US. When you think of yourself being an immigrant and what you go through, you do see that there's so much work out there, and you see that in England, you see that in the US. And so, you know, I'm not going to say I'm an avid reader. I would lie to you if I say that. I do it when I can. We all have busy lives. But at different points in my life, it has been very useful to get into a book. You have a stressful day, you go home, take a book, just kind of lay down on the couch and get into it, and you're in a different world. And so I thought that would be something that would be interesting. And so if I want to say that we should read, then the big question is, you know, are people reading or not? So then I thought, you know, I should get into what the research shows. You know, what are the surveys saying about how much people are reading and so on. So, and one of the most interesting report that came out was the one done by the National Endowment of the Arts. So I found the 2004 report. When I read that, bad news. People were not reading, and, you know, and especially younger kids were not reading and so on. So then I thought, yes, we do need to talk about it. But then when I looked at the most recent report, as you can see, things are looking better. The younger generations are reading more now, and I think things like Harry Potter and, you know, all the other things are definitely helping. And if you look across the different, by the way, these are actual book titles. So if you look at percentage of people who are reading literature and literature reading by education levels and so on, you know, we do see that things are not so bad. The only thing is this has been published, this survey was done in 2008, so hopefully a new one will come out. So Then I said, okay, we need to talk about it. This is an issue, and how many of you read some sort of literary type of work? Okay, so this is kind of half of the people that we see here, right? So that's good, and I guess I am preaching to the choir, so even better. But so then I also thought, in terms of benefits, what types of benefits can we think of? And my kind of focus was looking at it from like a workplace perspective. You know, what do you get from reading? How does it help you? And I think in many ways is kind of a good tie-in with what Megan Matthews talked about earlier, this thing about creativity at the workplace and so on. So you've seen this. They had an ad about the book. That's the next big thing, you know. It's unlimited battery life, instant loading, anti-glare. You can even read it in the sunlight, so it's quite amazing. And, you know, what are the benefits of reading then? So reading, the sound and the fury for me was one of the hardest things I had ever done. You know, I had not done it. So I went to school in Mauritius, and the high school curriculum there is different. And fighting through that book, you know, it's one, and I started Peace and War, by the way, and I abandoned that because I can't remember that many Russian names, you know. But, so that mental stimulation, I think, is really interesting. Once you read something complex, you feel like you can do anything. Until I try golf, then I find out that I should keep reading, you know. So there's the mental stimulation for sure. And stress reduction, you know, definitely. How many times have you had a bad day at work and you go home and the book is that kind of solace for you? You know, you go to a different world. So, and then the kind of knowledge base you develop, the inner peace. And of course, now I find myself using words like articulating, and, you know, that's because I read, you know. It just didn't happen by chance. No, I'm just kidding. But, and also better insights into society you're in. So I liked a lot of the works of Steinbeck, but I had never read Grapes of Wrath, and I've been kind of going through it. And you can get such amazing insights in terms of, you know, recession and maybe what we are seeing right now to some degree, and the hardships people go through. So these are just personal benefits. But like I was saying earlier, I was interested in what happens at work. And I have a few more suggestions. So again, anyone can be cool, but these takes work, you know, and does God speak through cats? My favorite is Everything I Want to Do is Illegal. And that's a children's book, by the way. But, you know, what are the benefits of reading at work? So first thing is, gives context for what you're doing. So then I, you know, being the social scientist, I got into the research, and they looked at comparing people who read versus who didn't read, and found that they were much more comfortable with ambiguity. If you think of our workplace situation today, everything is so complex. If you can understand ambiguity, and the decisions are going to be better. You don't have to, what is known as satisfy. You don't have to stop at something that doesn't give the full satisfaction that you need. And also more empathy for others. You get to see other people's viewpoints. You know, you get to be in other people's shoes. You get to understand where they're coming from, and also for me, it's you know, in doing this, I also surveyed a few colleagues and so on, and that empathy came back several times, where at work, if you're sitting together and you're reading the same book and you're talking about it, you develop some bond, you know, and if you think about how can we make people get along better, reading something, and also you get an understanding of other people's mind. And I feel that clock, like, is there going to be some music, or do I have to? Okay. So anyways, and also people have less cognitive closure. So earlier we talked about this idea of creativity and so on. You open your minds to other perspectives, other avenues, you know, and I don't know how that gets done directly. I can't articulate it, but it does happen. So, and, you know, and I thought, big deal. I tell you to read, what is the relevance for what you're doing? And when we look at the latest skills that the National Association of Colleges and Employees survey say, all of these things, ability to work in a team structure, ability to make decisions, ability to communicate, ability to analyze quantitative data, proficiency, you know, you look at the list of 10 things, 8 of those you need to be able to read. Reading helps you get these things. So I have 5 more seconds. Read. And before I forget, the Chancellor's Literary Award, fabulous event, goes on campus every year. And you know, this year, Nicholas Butler is coming, and his book, Shotgun Love Songs, is amazing. And the award is actually for writers of the Midwest, so please do participate in it. They always come. Last year we had Deborah Blum, fabulous people. Thank you. And questions?
14 hours of this on our flight to India.
That's right. So, thank you. I thought I was reading.
No, that was great. Questions?
You know, right now I'm reading Nothing to Envy, which is fiction, nonfiction, and it's about North Korean society, and it's very interesting, by Barbara Demick. And also I'm trying to finish Grapes of Wrath. And when I was researching this too about immigrant, I found a nice one I would be interested to read about is Blue Boy by an Indian author, you know. So it's one of those immigrant. Other questions? So don't forget about Business Ethics Week and also the Chancellor's Literary Award. Thank you. Thank you.